Doors closing.
And now, something completely different.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Call from
Virginia.
What's up? This is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, and I'm very excited about my next guest from the KVJ show on 97.9 WRMF. The one and only Virginia Sinicki is on Happy Hour with Ryan Hoppe. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great. Last week, it looked like you had an absolute blast at Mardi Gras. I was watching all your social media posts.
Yes, I did. So I'm from New Orleans, and we go every year, the pilgrimage to Mardi Gras, and it's a tradition. It's fun. We love it. I always say Mardi Gras is the best free party in the whole entire world.
Now, did you guys drive or fly there?
We actually drive because I bring back all the throws, the beads, the fun stuff that we catch, and then we recycle all that fun stuff and we throw it in several parades here in South Florida.
Do you do it for any of like the gay pride parades?
Yeah, so Gay Pride is coming up in less than a month, and we will be throwing a bunch of stuff at the Gay Pride Parade, which we've been in every single year for the past 26 years.
What's your favorite part about working in West Palm Beach? Because you guys have put in a huge legacy in South Beach and definitely, but like in West Palm Beach, and definitely influenced a lot of shows. So has it been everything you wanted it to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's ever changing and evolving. And, you know, in this modern day, we're so digital now with all the social media and all the other stuff that we do. It's not just about the radio anymore, but, you know, as long as you have a team that is willing to change and adapt and keep up with the times, which gets harder and harder as you get older and older.
Yeah.
But luckily, you know, we've got some very technically proficient team members that know all about the most current stuff and the social media stuff and the streaming stuff and the YouTube, and we've got a lot of people behind us helping us succeed. So that's really who we have to thank.
Now, I know that you have some kids that are Gen Alpha and Gen Z. Now, I don't have any kids, and I just found out what the word Riz was. Are you a type of parent that knows about the words, or do you find yourself asking your kids a lot what a word means?
Both. So I learned from TikTok a lot, but then, yeah, if I'm a little lost or confused, I'll ask my daughter who's 19. She's pretty plugged in and also very disappointed in me when I don't know.
I feel old whenever I go on TikTok. Now, I'm just 31, so I know some people will say I'm young, but compared to like the 22-year-olds, I'm old for TikTok. And when I'm on it, sometimes when I see the slang, like I didn't know what no cap meant for the longest time. And then like I find myself going on Urban Dictionary a lot, you know?
Yes, thank God for Urban Dictionary. Just don't go on there and ask anything naughty because, oh my gosh, you'll learn more than you wanted to.
Yeah, back in high school, we used to just look things up. But the funny part was our high school would save every website we went on. So a few of the football players got in trouble for looking up the really gross ones. And I guess the story goes that they were in the principal's office and they're saying like Cleveland Steamer and that. I mean, millennials are very funny. Now, going to that, a lot of millennials grew up listening to you guys. What's it like having a big millennial audience?
We're lucky, you know, we have a lot of people my age, you know, I'm 51. We also have a lot of people in their 40s, 30s, even 20s, because we were lucky enough to have parents driving kids to school in the morning listening to KVJ. So a lot of those, kids that used to be, in middle school riding to school listening to us now come up to us when we're out in bars and they're like, "Hey, can we buy you a beer?" And it's like, "Whoa, you listened to me when you were in 4th grade and now we're drinking beer. Okay, let's do this."
The funniest thing is if there's ever a girl visiting West Palm Beach, I'm not really on the dating apps anymore, but whenever they were and they asked me what I did for a living and I would say radio, I would say 95% of the time they would say, "Is it like KVJ?" It's got to be crazy to have those three letters be a household name, It
is weird because when we were trying to figure out, what the name of our show would be, we thought KVJ is all we can come up with, and it's kind of lame, but it's all we are. Now I'm so thankful, just because it's who we are. I'm thankful, we didn't call ourselves the Morning Brunch Bunch or something stupid like that, because we picked a name, and that name is us. And so KVJ, I guess we're kind of lucky that it worked out that way. Even though it's boring and it's just 3 letters, it really did help brand us and who we are.
I think my favorite part about your show is the fact that you guys are different than other shows. Because I listen to a lot of radio shows. I've been to morning show boot camps, and a lot of shows sound the same. But you can always tell when it's a KVJ bit because it's just a little edgier, but not like dirty,
Yeah, we try to dance on that line in between. We don't want to be vulgar. We don't want to be disgusting. We don't want to make anybody have to change the station.
Yeah.
But we like to dance right up to the point where some people could call it offensive, because we're all kind of a little twisted. KV and J all have kind of sick senses of humor, and so we appreciate sometimes a little bit of crossing the line.
It's funny. For some reason, I never heard your uncensored podcast until after I interviewed Kevin. And oh my goodness, that show, the things Jason says too, it's crazy.
Yeah, our uncensored podcast is kind of like, it's a vent session. It's therapy for us, because we can say all the things that we're never allowed to say on the regular broadcast show. And I think sometimes it feels good to get it out. It feels good to be naughty, and it's fun to be provocative. We can't do that so much on the regular show. So it's a great outlet for that side of the twisted mind.
What does Hubbard say about the explicit content on the podcast?
They actually don't love it. Oh, surprise. Corporate America. They don't love it. But, I think they realize that it has a place, and even if it's not their flavor, they respect that it's a flavor that KVJ Nation loves. And although they don't appreciate, sometimes the content, they do appreciate the fact that it gets, hundreds of thousands of downloads. So those numbers are very fun for the company, especially as we try to, grow into this new world, the wild, wild west of streaming and downloads and all this stuff that's pretty new for us old dogs.
Now, what was your take on the radio wars? So I grew up an Opie and Anthony fan, and I know they went after you guys, and I think maybe Bubba the Love Sponge might have. What was your move you guys would do as a show whenever people that would try to go into your market tried to begin a war?
It's funny because you have to handle every war differently, and you have to handle every new competitor differently. Luckily, knock on wood, thank goodness, we're still here, and a lot of the people that came into the market and tried to disrupt weren't successful. We were lucky to keep our number one spot now for so many years. But people like, Howard Stern came into the market and was talking about us. That's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
wild.
That's
because
got to be nice. That's got to be kind of cool.
Growing up, I loved Stern. I listened to Stern. I was a huge Howard Stern fan. So to have him calling us a bunch of idiots, that was kind of crazy. We were lucky, though. We were very lucky to be able to have a strong fan base where we never were knocked out of the number one spot. We've been there for a long, long time, and thank goodness. I hope we're there for a long time more.
I know, I believe, I don't think anybody heard it, but I believe my former boss, Rover's Morning Glory, might have talked about you guys, but who heard it,
Yeah, no, I mean, we respect everybody, and I think, Rover, I think, all these other shows, they're just trying to, make something happen to get noticed. And
Yeah.
I understand the psychology. You got to kind of come in the market and start a war with the number one show. You got to try to shake things up. That's the only real way you're going to get noticed. So I got nothing but love and respect for all the competitors.
No, go on.
No, I just want I want everybody to come take a shot at us. I think it's fun.
Now, how did you meet Kevin and Jason?
So I had known of Kevin. We had seen each other at a morning show boot camp.
Oh, nice.
Back in like the mid 90s. I want to say like 94, 95. And I had seen him, and his group was very drunk, and they were all wearing jester hats, and I was like, oh, my God, those boys are clowns. And then when the station that I was working for doing mornings in Mississippi, in Gulfport, there was just a lot of drama there, and unfortunately, I mouthed off and got fired, which I'm pretty good at doing.
I'm good at that too. I got a big mouth. It's the Illinois in me.
Yeah, it's my gift. So I was actually looking for work for about 2 weeks. I was flying all over the country. I had done interviews in the Northeast and in the South and in the Southeast. And I was just trying to figure out where I wanted to go. And I was introduced to Kevin on the phone, and we just talked and talked and talked. And I knew it was the right move. I just felt it in my bones. And, I had an offer to actually go and join a team and do mornings in New Orleans at the same time that I had the offer to go join Kevin in Florida. And something just told me Kevin was the way to go. And thank goodness, because the guy in New Orleans got fired like pretty quick into his run.
Oh,
and
wow.
Would not have been a good morning show partner. So it really did work out with Kevin. He's a great person to work with. And Jason, same thing. I mean, we found Jason from doing a local talent search because, we had a bunch of people that were like radio people that had worked for us, and nobody was really impressing us. And we looked and we saw like the people that were available, and we thought, let's try something here local, something different. Let's do a talent search and find somebody who can just shake it up. And I'll never forget the bit that Jason did that just had our mouths on the floor. He went into a Taco Bell and he became the manager of the Taco Bell. He told everybody he was from corporate and he was there to do some training and some hiring. He hired people. He was working at this Taco Bell and recording everything for like hours.
Oh, my God.
And it was so funny. It was some of the funniest audio I've ever heard. And we knew right then and there, okay, this guy has just tremendous balls. He'll do anything. He knows how to make it funny. He knows how to make it wild, and he doesn't back down. And Yeah, we knew right away that he was the guy.
Now, how often do you talk to Kevin and Jason during the day?
Well, we all text. We have a text thread. If anything happens, we'll jump on the text thread. We all put together ideas for the show for the next day. So each of us will sit down and write an email to everybody saying, okay, here's what happened in my day. Here's what I did. Here's what I think is funny. Here's some ideas I have to contribute. Here's some social media stuff. Like, everybody does that every day. And then Kevin puts it all together and comes up with an outline, and then lets everybody see that outline. Right at 6 a.m., he sends the prep out to everybody so we know what we're doing for the day.
Now, going back to the morning show boot camp, I've been in 2013, 2014, and then like maybe 5 other times since then. And I'm going this year. But what was the morning show boot camp like in the 90s?
So I just went to boot camp this past year because Kevin got the Kid Craddock Award.
Yeah.
And I really haven't been to boot camp since my son was born. So it's been like 8 years that I took off. But I went back this year for the first time in 8 years, and wow, it was impressive. The production value back when boot camp started, it was not like there was individual sessions broken out in smaller rooms. There was no big, huge production value with a stage and lighting and actors and performances and game shows, and it wasn't all that. It was very much more grassroots, and it was more for me at the time. I was learning, trying to absorb from all these greats in the industry.
Now, were you at the morning show boot camp when Mancow broke some dude's phone? I've heard about this.
I don't think I was there for that one.
There was someone from the Howard Stern show, and Mancow was like beefing with them. And this is like in the 90s when they had the big like cell phones. And I guess he like grabbed it from the guy and like threw it on the ground and was like stomping on it. And everybody at the morning show boot camp was like, yeah, or whatever. It's crazy.
I'm not surprised that happened. I wish I would have seen that. I don't think I was there, but I do drink a lot too, so there's that.
I've had some very late nights at the morning show boot camp where I don't get back to my room till 4. And what's funny is I usually sleep in till 10 because like that hangover feeling at the boot camp when everyone's like hungover and they went to bed 4 hours ago. It's fun, but it gets tiring,
Yes, it's exhausting. But staying out late with all these different radio people and everybody's trying to one-up each other. And, I mean, you see some of the most funny things and ideas come out of those late night till 4 a.m. drinking with the buds.
There's one guy who went up to everybody. He produces a big radio show, and he said, "We're number 1, 18 to 34. Like just introducing himself with that, not, "Hey, this is my name." And it was very like morning show boot camp to just go, "Oh, we're number 1, 18 to 34. I'm like, "Hi, man. Nice to meet you."
Yeah, that's what you call a newbie.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys think about the Radio Hall of Fame? Does it have any meaning to the KVJ show?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's impressive. I think that it would be exciting to be able to go and see, friends of ours inducted into it. I know, I don't know if you know who this guy is, Art Volo.
Yeah, radio's best friend.
Radio's best friend, yeah. So he has been on his own dime videotaping every single morning show boot camp and all kinds of morning shows across the country for decades.
Yes.
I mean, this man goes back to the 60s and 70s, and he really did so much for archiving radio and the talent. He wants to get into the Radio Hall of Fame, and I think he really should be considered because he has been radio's best friend and just such a sweet soul, documenting everybody, travels around the country on his own dime to make these videos. So that's my vote for the Radio Hall of Fame. Art Volo.
Now, what is the biggest difference with radio from when you first began to now?
Probably the video and social media aspect. I started when I was 19, which 32 years ago. So there was, no video, there was no social media, there was no internet. I mean, Internet was brand new. So I think just all of those different aspects that have now been added to it, and I think made it better, it's made it a better listening experience for all of our KVJ Nationers. They can see us, they can talk to us, they can stream us at their own leisure.
Yes.
Now with podcasting, you can pause it and you can rewind it and you can, skip through whatever you don't want to hear. So the technology has made it a better experience, but it's definitely made it harder of a job. And you have to, as they say in the business, wear more hats.
What do you think about where radio's at? Like the, I guess, future of it,
It's a tricky question because I love radio, but I just don't know if radio is going to be here in 20 years.
Yeah.
I think that it's all about, for now, it's all about the streaming. It's all about the podcasting. It's all about, you've got a lot of YouTube shows. You've got a lot of competition from these digital properties that don't require a giant, antenna and an FCC license. And it's expensive to run a radio station.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overhead there. There's not a lot of overhead to do a podcast.
Not at all.
It's just a different beast. And I think, people are figuring out how to do it without the big radio antenna. And it may make it obsolete in the future.
I think the biggest problem is it feels like, for example, I'm friends with Johnny Dare, and the way they let Johnny Dare go is just heartbreaking. Like, you pour your heart into Kansas City for 32 years. He began that morning show when I was in my mom's tummy when she was pregnant with me. Like, think about that. Like, Johnny Dare did the show for 32 years when my mom was pregnant with me. And then just the way they let him go. Like, I know that radio is a business, but sometimes I think radio could be a little more human, because I'm not sure where that's going to go, because Johnny Dare is a legend.
Yeah, I hear of so many legendary shows, having to come off the airwaves and going a different route and thinking about, doing a YouTube show, doing some kind of a podcast or a video podcast. Like, I think because radio revenue is going down,
yes,
and podcast revenue is going up, this is just going to be the trajectory. Unfortunately, I think radio revenue might continue to go down, and it might eventually get to a point where it's just it's not profitable to pay people like Johnny Dare or myself a salary, because the radio station's not bringing in that money. That's one thing, air talent. We better figure out how to be salespeople as well. You have to figure out how to sell your show, go out there, get the advertising dollars with the salesperson, make marketing campaigns work for the advertisers, and really create a brand that people will trust what you say about these clients. And so without that, you won't have a job. You'll be out, and they'll be pumping in some other syndicated show from 20 other markets. It's just what's going on right now.
Now, before I let you go, would I be able to get you to record a liner for me?
Sure.
Have it say, "Hey, this is Virginia from the KVJ show, and you're listening to Hoppe Hour with Ryan Hoppe."
Sure.
All right, let me know.
Hey, what's going on? It's Virginia from the KVJ show at 97.9 WRMF, and you're listening to Hoppe Hour with Ryan Hoppe.
Awesome, Virginia. Now, before I let you go, if people were in West Palm Beach, they should have the radio on 97.9 every morning. But if they're not in West Palm Beach and they're hearing my voice, how can people hear the KVJ show?
So we're so easy to find. We're on all the podcast apps. We also do a live streaming video podcast as well on every morning on YouTube. You can find us at all those places. And two, there's places on like social media where you can go, and we've broken down individual segments. We've got little snippets all over our KVJ Instagram, all over YouTube, all over our Twitter, all over our Facebook, all over our TikTok. I mean, we're everywhere. Just search KVJ. And if you want to look me up, I'm Virginia KVJ.
Are you going to the morning show boot camp this year?
Yes, it's in Austin, right?
Yeah, me too. I'm going. I just got to get plane tickets and whatnot. But yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Kevin last year, who hosts our show, he got the Kid Craddock Award, which is an award that they give out for, awesome dudes in radio and girls in radio. So now Kevin has to give this award to the next recipient. So he gets to pick the person, whoever it is. He's been debating over 4 or 5 different individuals. So I can't wait to see who he picks, and I can't wait to be there for it and support him.
Well, Virginia, it's been a lot of fun having you on the show. I listen to the show while I'm working out, and it's a lot of fun to listen while pumping iron. So keep up the good work, and thank you for calling in the Hoppe Hour with Ryan Hoppe.
Thanks so much, Ryan. I'll see you in Austin.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. And that was Virginia Sinicki from the KVJ show as she called in the Hoppe Hour with Ryan Hoppe. Now, if this is your first time hearing my voice, hi, my name's Ryan Hoppe and I host this show. I have 2 versions. One where I interview radio hosts like I just did just now. I interviewed Kevin last week, and I have one version where it's kind of like a morning zoo and a podcast where I rant about celebrity news. So go to every single major platform that has a podcast and search up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. This has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, signing off. Goodbye.
TikTok, clocks are juking, playing cruel pranks. Hoppe's hour almost done. Feels like robbery in banks. Ryan Hoppe on the mic, dropping wisdom in streams. Syndicated sorrow, now it's time to shatter dreams. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. Phone lines buzzing, but the laughter's growing dim. Eardrums mixing Hoppe like fingers without rings. DHX to FM, shoutouts hit the street, but soon the sound will vanish like shadows in the heat. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. Phone lines buzzing, but the laughter's growing dim. Eardrums mixing Hoppe like fingers without rings. DHX to FM, shoutouts hit the street, but soon the sound will vanish like shadows in the heat. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. Oh, life's just so unfair. Like clockwork to a show. Now it's time to face the silence like a TV on snow. Ryan Hoppe held the mic with humor so divine. The void left in our hearts wider than a canyon line. Empty speakers, silent time, but coming to an end like a roller coaster stopping round the river's bend. Hoppe's jokes and jabs, these are daily grind. Now silence louder than the thoughts we can't rewind. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. The Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. KVJPradio.com.
And like that, he's gone.
Whenever we're going outside, all I smell is poop.
I'll kick you in the nuts and we'll call it a day.
Happy hour is now over. Happy hour is now over. Game over.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.
Doors closing.